G'day YouTube, it's Bob, and this is my new bike. New to me, it's a 2009 Harley XR1200 Sportster, but quite different to the regular Sportsters or even the bigger engine Harleys, apart from probably the V-rods. I've just sold my bagger that I had for 5 or 6 years and want to move into something a bit different, where you can't get much more different from a bagger than this one. But what I want to do with this bike, and which is the point of this series hopefully, is to turn this bike into more of a adventure touring type of bike, where there'll be some stuff that you can clip on, attach, bolt on even, go on your adventure. Not necessarily too much off-road, but you know, you can stack it up with a couple of people and all your gear, and you can go off into the wide unknown, or even the known, you know, to get around the country, two up, with all sorts of stuff on it. So this bike's pretty stripped back, it's pretty sort of, I guess, empty of all of the stuff that would make it a good tourer. But that's what I want to change, because I'm a real Harley fan. I really like the brand. I really like the bikes. I've had about 5 Harleys over the years of different types, and you know, I really like them. So had a Triumph Explorer recently for a few months, and really enjoyed the ride that gave me, with the bags, with the cruise control, with the screen, and with, you know, everything that looked like a cool adventure bike, the comfort. But you know, at the end of the day, I couldn't really afford to keep 2 bikes, and it wasn't a Harley, and I, you know, whether you like them or not, for me it's just, well, I like that. So I've been able to sell my other bike and get my hands on this one, so I'm really pleased with it. It rides really nicely. It's got 11,000 kilometers. It's a 2009, if I said that already, but it's got a good few extras on it, just from as I've bought it. It's got Öhlins rear suspension. I think they're about $1,000 or more, apparently, the guy said at the shop today. It's got an aftermarket exhaust system. That's really nice, stainless. It's done really well, but I don't like the muffler. It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit gross. Plus it's a bit noisy, which may seem funny for a Harley, but I don't really like too loud a bike. It's got a steering damper on it, which is pretty cool. Standard sort of front end there. It's got a little fly screen type of deal. I've actually just ordered a new screen today, one that's you know, clip on, clip off Harley Davidson, a bigger one than that. So I've already started accumulating some parts for it, because I do want to make it more of a an adventure style machine. So just to name some of the things that I want to do from one end to the other, then the rest of the, I think the video series is going to be about how I go about doing it. So let's start at this end. That's my son's learner bike over there, so this is why I want to have a bike a bit like this, so I can strip it all back and go riding together. Well, I want to put bags on it. I want to put some hard luggage. I want to put some sort of adventure style ones. Jivy do a set, or Touratech, you know, they do this sort of stuff. Not the full out aluminium type of deal to go, you know, completely off-road, but just something that will do the job. But no one makes the brackets that you use or need to fit your panniers on and off with this bike. You know, there's hardly any companies that do adventure or, you know, touring type editions for this sort of model. Ventura, the sort of pack rack company down here in New Zealand, make some brackets that will enable me to put a mounting plate for a top box on. So that's already ordered, and that's going to be good. I've just got to sort out how to mount anything onto the side, which may mean having to get a set that belongs to another bike and you know, adapting it to fit this bike. I've already emailed Jivy in Italy, and they're hopefully going to get back to me, and you never know, they might be helpful, they might put me onto something else. But in the meantime, not a whole bunch of people do stuff like that. For this bike I need to do something with the seat, because the seat is just awful. You know, for long range it's nice around town and on the motorway and out in the country it's adequate, and certainly for one. But you may notice that that looks like a piece of black foam cut out of something and stuck on, so that's going to have to change. And I may go to something that goes over that clips on, domes on, or I may think of something wilder and maybe get a duplicate seat cowling and re-seat the whole middle. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Coming forward, I need to get some, the foot pegs are on order. For some reason they did not come with the bike, so I've had to order new ones. The brackets, at least you can order them, but my goodness, I've just about had to sell something to do that. The front pegs are pretty good. I may get some slightly wider pegs, but they're adequate at the moment, and the riding position seems to be okay. I'll probably get some kind of a crash bar at some point, just to go either side of the oil cooler there. They sort of have one that goes through with a couple of those sort of bobbins on the end, those like a skate wheel type of deal, so we'll do that. Now, one of the bigger changes I want to do is, if some of these things weren't big enough, I'm going to change, or I'd like to change this petrol tank, because this is about 11-12 litres or something. So, you know, 100 miles or about 200 kilometres, you're really looking for somewhere to have to gas up. And sometimes, riding in New Zealand, you can ride for 2 or 3 hours and not really pass anywhere. So I do know of a solution that I want to try, and that solution is using the XR1200T, the custom Sportster model from, well, up until about now still, that has about 17 litres, is adaptable for this bike, but also changing the throttle body, which is in behind that little cover, and putting on the side air filter arrangement, because all this part, all that squarey part under there is the air filter, and it basically robs this tank of all the gas space that you'd need to sort of, you know, go for 2 or 3 hours and not even worry. So that's going to be fun. That'll be a bigger job. I've already emailed a place in the States for parts. They were a Harley wrecker, so I've emailed about all 3 parts for that. Coming forward, I want to get a riser set just to lift that handlebar unit up. It's not too far away, but I could do with it being slightly closer to me, so it's just going to come up a bit more and just be a bit more closer to me. And Free Spirit online do riser kits for this particular bike because of the unique sort of bolt pattern that Harley have, and also that the lower part of that clamp is actually moulded into the top tree, so I can't just sort of unbolt something and put a riser that you can with other Harleys. Heated grips will be coming at some point. I've got those to order online. And the hand guards out the front, the Triumph had like the plastic sort of bark busters, or the hand guards. They were really good. Just really kept the wind and the cold off when I did some winter rallies and riding. I've also been talking with a company in Australia to fit the cruise control, which I had on my Road Glide and also had on the Triumph, and I just really wouldn't want to ride without it. I just really like it. It's great. Sorry if the picture's a bit dark. I'll come around this way a bit. So cruise control, I've got a on and off screen that will just clamp on and off the forks. It's a Harley Davidson part, that one, but it's quite tall. Well, taller than that anyway. That's just a, I don't know what that is, but that's just an aftermarket job. And maybe a crash bar. Well, I've said about the other one before, but maybe something that goes around the side, I'm not sure. Maybe a bash plate. Again, I've got to find someone that makes one, or I could probably have a go at making that. I can do a few things in the garage here. So that's covering most of it. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a big job. But you know, I think it will probably be a one-off. I have seen online on the avrider.com, I think it is, or avrider maybe is how it's pronounced. There's a guy that did one of these and did that tank conversion and put it on an outfit, put it on a sidecar. And that's sort of what gave me the inspiration to think, well, actually, yeah, I could do that. So, but in terms of its, I I think it will be quite unique, because I scoured the internet to try and find someone that may have done this, and they haven't. Now I'm not going to go and, you know, chuck knobblies on and, you know, go off road and stuff. I'm not really that confident a rider to sort of probably do the round the world thing like Ewan McGregor, but certainly want to get the look of having the tour capacity, the cruise, you know, a few sort of features that, you know, certainly give it that look that I'm after, and also gives it the performance and the capacity to be able to go, you know, long into the day two up and enjoy that, because it'll be comfortable and also it'll, you know, do the job. So that's where we're up to. It's pretty much sort of day one. I've just got the bike yesterday. I've ordered some parts today. My pockets are feeling lighter, but I am feeling hopeful. So you know, you might have some suggestions as to what you think could be done, sensible suggestions, or even some stuff that you've put on your bike, your XR, that you would recommend. So until part two, I guess, I'm not sure when that's going to come, but that'll be probably filming some disassembly and some new bits going on. I'll see you around and ride safely. See ya.